Anything else you'd like to share with the audience in terms of your career, some of the things that or let me ask you this. So what's next for you aside from the retirement? I mean, you've worked with so many different genres. Where do you see? Let's talk. I've got a lot of things in my mind, but what about Houston? How's the music? What's the music scene in Houston? What are you seeing?
Well, the music scene here in Houston is kind of strange. There's a huge hip hop scene, and seems to be thriving and doing its own thing and going very, very well. But for a city of 7 million people, there doesn't seem to be any real identity. Austin's gone out of its way to say that they're the ants pants of all this, music. But I mean, think about it. Beyonce and ZZ Top.
Southwest, yeah.
Beyonce and ZZ Top have sold more records.
So there's a Beyonce story in your trajectory.
Yes, there is.
History. Yeah.
I worked a bit with her back in 2000.
Okay.
When they did Writings on the Wall, the second album. They did Survivor, the third album, bits and pieces, quite a bit of both of those albums, and she started her first solo album at Sugar Hill.
Okay. So when you first you were introduced to Beyonce and you're hearing that music, was there something special about her that you just said, this is...
Oh, absolutely. The moment you heard her sing, you went, okay, this is the real deal.
Okay.
I mean, I think she was 16 or 17.
Yeah.
And, she and Kelly were the talent,
the
main talent of that group. And they're lovely people, well-educated, well-brought up, nice people.
They're Houston born and bred, yeah.
Exactly, Missouri City.
Right.
And it was fun having them hang out at the studio. And one of the reasons they came to Sugar Hill is because we had a gate, and they could drive themselves over, and be brought there, and there was a gate, and nobody could,
shut the gate.
Shut the gate, and they're not here.
But you knew when you heard that. You just said
absolutely,
that's
immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
I knew the talent was there, and so does the world.
You mentioned that you bring, as an independent, so you bring clients with you. Is that the way most engineers would do that? Is that they have a book of business that they would? Yeah,
you have to do that. Otherwise, occasionally Bill Wade will hire different independents based on who the client is coming in. If he gets a call from a record company that a major rap artist wants to come in at 10 o'clock at night and work until 5 in the morning, he has to figure out which engineer is the right person for the job to come in and do that.
I would think so.
If the rapper isn't bringing their own engineer, which does happen a lot, but the visiting engineer is not going to know how to operate this.
Sure.
So he needs to have an assistant.
Is there a little, I guess maybe tension between engineers?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
It'd be crazy if there was.
Yeah. Okay.
You're getting a chance.
It's not my way, your way. You're
getting to put in your resume that you worked with, ...
Yeah, absolutely. I think that helps in the trajectory of your career, right? Saying that
exactly.
I've worked with these particular artists, and then they refer, I would imagine, amongst themselves. Hey, if they're doing this type of music, you may want to talk to this particular engineer.
I mean, this building exists because of James Kelly, who was really popular in the hip-hop world, and I guess they kind of told James, hey, you build a studio, we will come. They built the studio, and they came.
There you go.
This is exactly the story of this.
That was a simple formula, and it worked.
Simple formula.
Yeah. So good. Anything else you'd like to share with our audience? This has been great. A lot of information. I think you should write a book. I really think you should write another book.
Actually, I've got 2 more books planned already. That's one of the reasons I'm retiring from Rice, so I have some time.
Time to write.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to give us a little?
I'm going to write a book on how to record all genres of music by Andy Bradley.
Okay.
In very simple terms and without the math that's involved in
What's
textbooks.
the math, Andy? What do we mean by the math?
Oh, all the algebra that they make you learn when you go to school to be your audio engineer, which really doesn't help.
It doesn't help. It's not practical?
It's not practical.
Okay.
Not practical at all in what we do. And then I'm half Russian, and my Russian family...
Does that mean you drink vodka when you're...
Not anymore.
Okay.
I quit drinking quite a few years ago.
Okay.
My Russian family, my grandfather was a general in the Russian army prior to the revolution.
Wow.
And it's a fascinating story of my family prior to 1918.
Because you go from Russia
after to 1918.
To Southeast Asia, to Australia, so that's quite a...
That's where Russian people ran
Oh, so
all over
they
the
did.
world to get away from that revolution.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, my grandfather was on the execution list,
Oh, wow.
and they escaped into
And they
China.
into China.
Yeah.
Great. You have some ties into the Chinese community as well here, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Through the New Heart Music Ministry.
Okay.
We're all very dear friends.
Good. And let's go back to my good friend Paul English. He's quite a character and quite a talented musician as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Paul English is a genius-level musician that can write from symphony orchestra
Yeah.
to playing blues.
He's very versatile.
To playing
Yeah.
blues, Hammond organ.
Yeah.
And there's not many people that can do that.
I think that's helped him survive, right?
Absolutely.
He's been smart enough, and that's kind of the message we speak to about with the musicians is kind of you want to expand your genre a little bit because there are so many different verticals that you can look at as a musician because it's very difficult to make a living, right? And that's one of the reasons we do applause to the musician is hopefully that we can help them see that there are other paths and get their voice out there. That's very, very important.
I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. So Andy, tell me what kind of music you enjoy when you're not doing this.
Wow, it's all the joy of being a recording engineer is that you almost stop listening to anything.
So you're
when
driving
not
home, right? So what do you...
I'm listening to the Astros,
Okay.
the Rockets, or the Texans because it has nothing to do with music. With
okay.
music. And because I'm a huge sports fan.
Good.
But if I'm going to be listening to something, it's probably going to be jazz, and or maybe country music.
And country. Okay.
Yeah. And because there are not a lot of modern rock bands that I find interesting.
Interesting.
At all.
Yeah.
It's just a case of if I want to hear some rock music, I can pull out my friends from Radio Birdman and listen to, and my friend Dennis Tech, who is the leading light of Radio Birdman.
Okay.
I just mixed his new solo album here in February.
Here. Okay.
And I mixed his last album before that called Detroit, which was like 5 years ago. I mixed that at Sugar Hill when I was still there.
Sugar Hill's still active. I mean, it's still...
They're still active.
Yeah.
And so, basically it's hard to listen to music when you listen to it 12 hours a day.
12 hours a day. How about your wife? She's got a musical background. What kind of music is she?
Oh, she's not a musician. She's a nurse.
A nurse, okay.
And she finds that hanging out with her grandkids are way more fun than going to see live bands.
There you go.
But her favorite music is Lemmy from Motorhead and AC/DC.
AC/DC.
Yep.
Okay, good. I got a question. I've been looking at this cup. Talk to me a little. Tell our audience about this. This almost looks like you a little bit.
Yeah. Most of the musicians in town know this cup because it's been with me since 2005. There was
you haven't broke it. Let's keep our fingers.
Yes,
That's good.
There was an incredible band called the Rogues that were a Celtic band.
A Celtic band.
Yep.
Here in Houston.
Here in Houston.
Okay.
They toured all over the United States, and one of the wives, basically, of the band saw the cup at one of the music festivals, and said, "Oh, that's Andy."
That's Andy.
So they autographed the bottom of it, dedicated it to me, and gave it to me.
And it's been with you since 2005.
2005.
And keep our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed it lives.
That's right. That's right.
When I retire from all recording studios, whenever that might be, which is probably never, it'll have to go home with me.
I don't think you want to retire. I think you just want to do...
I want to do other things.
Yeah, just do other things.
Yeah.
Right. But I think this is in your blood. You've been doing this too long.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So as we close this, Andy, anything that you'd like to tell the audience? Anything? I just think you've got a very rich history, and you've worked across so many different genres, and technology continues to evolve. But what would you like to say to the audience? Our audience, who is we've got a very diverse audience: teachers, musicians, young people that want to learn, just have a passion for music. What would you like to say to them?
Well, I work on so much great music that a lot of times doesn't get publicized because it's just local people that don't have an avenue to put things out. So I always try to promote the stuff that I'm doing and put it on my Facebook page.
Okay.
So feel free to go to Andrew Bradley on my Facebook page and ask
And you also have a website?
And I have a website which is very puny at the moment. I need to do something with that, but I never. This is something I hope to do something with when I
have other time, right?
When I change
Sure.
what I'm
Sure.
doing. but it's andybradleyproductions.com, and I'm also on Facebook.
Your Facebook page is pretty update. No, you keep
I
you
try
keep
to,
it.
I try to put on there what I'm working on and tell
Okay.
people this is a great CD I worked on. You should go buy it.
Okay. So if an artist wanted to contact you, would they do that through, let's say, either your Facebook page or your website, or how would they contact you? Is that the best way?
Andy,
Call the studio?
Andy at wireroadstudios.com
Okay.
or Andy at andybradleyproductions.com.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So as you write the next chapter in your long history, Andy, we just want to say thank you. It's been an honor to be here. And as our project, we continue to grow. We reach out to professionals like yourself that have a history and a story that can enrich our audience. And we just want to thank you very, very much for taking time out of a long day, because I know it's a long day for you as well. And just thank you very much for inviting us in.
It's been a pleasure.
And
glad to meet you.
And thank you. And I just want to let our audience know that we have an upcoming interview with Didi Winticon, and I will destroy your name, Didi, by no disrespect. And that'll be at the end of August as well, and that'll be at the Houston Piano Company as well. And just continue to look at us, and we're on Facebook, Instagram. We're building our website, and we really appreciate the support and the likes that you show us. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone again towards the end of April. Thank you very much. Thank you.